It's Sugarplum, the candy fairy, and Frostbite. Hi everyone, it's me, Sugarplum, the candy fairy, and I'm going to be reading Quabbie, the great white duck, guardian and protector of the Quabin Reservoir. This book was written by Nancy Huntington, who is a local writer who works at the Quabin Reservoir. You can hear all about the rules of the Quabin Reservoir and in a fun way in this book. And the artist is the very talented Carley Winn. I hope that you can pick up a copy of this book to support the writer and the illustrator because they're really sweet, wonderful people. And I hope that you enjoy.
A long time ago, in a little town called Greenwich, nestled in the Swift River Valley, lived a little white duck. He lived on a farm with all his family and friends. The valley was green and peaceful, so the little duck and his friends drank and swam in a clean, deep pond. One day, he heard some very bad news from Molly the cow.
I heard Farmer Henry and his wife talking as they were milking me this morning. They said that there was a place called Boston that needs clean drinking water for its people, and that they plan to flood our valley to provide for it. Everyone will have to move away.
"But I don't want to move away," said the little duck. "It's so green and peaceful here. It's my home and the only place that I've ever known." Everyone felt the same way as the little duck, but there was nothing they could do. All the people and all the animals had to leave. When the day came for Farmer Henry and his family to move, the little duck refused to go. "They say they're going to fill up the valley with water? That's okay. I'm a duck. I love water. I will hide until everyone else drives away, and then I'll stay here in my green and peaceful home forever." So the little white duck hid until everyone was gone, all his family and all his friends. But when the little duck realized that he was all alone, he became very sad. He started to wish that he had left with the others, but it was too late. Sometimes he would hear a loud machine making noises or see smoke in the distance, and he became scared. But he loved his home, and he was determined to stay. Eventually the machines and the smoke stopped, and it became very quiet. There was nothing left in the beautiful valley that was his home. No buildings, no people, no stores or railroads. But one day, the little duck noticed something different. "Water! The water!" he cried. It was starting to rise up to fill the valley. Oh, how much fun that was! The little white duck drank and played and swam in the water every day. And the water, which came from the Swift River, was so fresh and pure that the little duck grew big and strong. Much bigger and stronger than any other duck. As the valley started to fill up, something else happened too. Wild animals began to build nests and dens around the water. They came because there were no people there, and they could live safely without having to hide or be afraid. And because there were no people, no cars or factories, the land and water was the cleanest and healthiest around. The little duck, who was now a very big duck, made friends with all the other animals who had come to call this place their home. And he wasn't lonely anymore. The valley was green and peaceful once again. A long time passed. The new reservoir was beautiful. Because the water was for people to drink, the whole area was protected from anything that would cause harm to the water, trees, or animals. The little duck, who was now a very, very big duck, was proud of his home and very protective of his friends and his family. "I lost everyone I knew and loved once, and it made me very sad. I won't let this happen again," he declared. Sometimes people would come around. People were allowed to walk on the old town roads and hike through the woods, as long as they were careful not to disturb anything. There were special people too, whose job it was to help protect the land, the water, and the animals. They went by different names, like rangers, foresters, and biologists. The little duck, who is now a very, very, very big duck, got to know who everyone was and who was supposed to be there and who wasn't. There were some places that only these special people were allowed to go, and he kept a very close watch to make sure that nobody else went there. One day, a man snuck in to one of the places that he wasn't allowed, and worse, he had a gun. Sometimes people are allowed to go in with guns, but not this time. The man had a raccoon fur coat and a squirrel hat, and the duck knew that the man was there for no good. He saw the man heading towards the den of some foxes and knew that he just had to do something to protect his friends. So he flew out right into the man's head. He quacked and flapped. Quack, 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 quack. Ah! A giant duck! The man shouted in fear and ran away. The foxes came out of their den, and Mama Fox said, "Oh, thank you. Thank you. You saved our lives. What's your name?" The duck thought for a moment. "Actually, I don't have a name," he said. "Well then, we shall give you a name," the Mama Fox said. They call this place the Quabin Reservoir, from the old Native American word Quabin, which means meeting of many waters. Your name will be Quabbie, the great white duck, guardian and protector of the Quabin Reservoir. Hooray! I have a name! Oh, thank you! And Quabbie was very happy and proud. On another day, Quabbie saw two people walking their dog in the woods, but dogs were not allowed in the Quabin Reservoir. One of the people was talking. "I heard that a hunter who was trespassing was scared off by a huge duck. What a ridiculous story. I would never be afraid of a silly duck." "Well," said Quabbie to himself, "we'll see about that." Then Quabbie caught the dog's attention. "Hey, you're not supposed to be here." "I'm sorry," said the dog, "but I have to go where my people take me." "Okay," said Quabbie, "then let's together convince your people to take you somewhere else." Quabbie hid in the woods, and he made a low howling sound. Ooh. The dog stopped and pretended to be afraid. "Hey, what's that noise? And why is Jackson so scared?" one of the people asked. Quabbie continued, "Ooh, ooh," and started flapping his great wings in the woods so that they would make a lot of noise. Quack, quack, quack! Quabbie quacked and flapped as loudly as he could. The people looked at each other. It couldn't be! They looked at Jackson, who was now pretending to shake. Suddenly, Quabbie burst out from the trees. Quack! Ah! It's true! It's a great white duck! The people shouted, and they ran back down the trail with Quabbie following behind. Quack, quack! Thanks for your help, Jackson. Bark, bark! No problem, said Jackson. Goodbye. Most days, Quabbie spent peacefully enjoying the clean water and watching visitors who came to enjoy the beautiful scenery. Sometimes people would come who used to live in the valley before the reservoir was built. How he loved to hear those stories. But one night, a group of people snuck in to go camping. Camping was strictly forbidden, and especially at night. Quabbie was sure that the rangers would find the campers and make them leave, but they were starting to build a fire. That was very dangerous, and Quabbie was afraid that by the time the rangers found them, it would be too late. He had to do something fast, but he was going to need some help. Quabbie talked to his bird friends, and he told them about the campers, that they were making a mess, and that they were going to start a fire. But he had a plan. Quabbie started to howl. Ooh, ooh. But the campers were laughing and didn't hear him. So he got even louder. Ooh, ooh, and started flapping his great wings. Now the campers definitely heard him. The moon was bright in the sky like a spotlight. He flew up so that his shadow looked enormous against the moon. Ooh, ooh, quack! The other birds flew up too, and all of a sudden the flapping of their wings were louder and louder, and it seemed to the campers like one giant duck with wings that roared like a train was upon them. The wind from all their wings flapping blew out the match for the campfire and even blew the tents over. Quack! Quack! The campers picked up their gear and ran away. Ah! The duck! The duck! And as they ran away, they passed the rangers and said, "Oh, we're so sorry. We learned our lesson. We'll never trespass here or break the rules again. We're afraid of the great white duck."
"Huh? That duck again," said Mr. Ranger. "I keep hearing stories about the great white duck protecting the reservoir."
"Yes," said Miss Ranger. "He seems to be doing a wonderful job, too. He's always there when people try to break the rules. I guess he's the official guardian and protector of the Quabin Reservoir." When Quabbie heard this, it made him very happy. He was glad to be able to help keep his home and all his loved ones safe. And to this day, Quabbie helps protect the reservoir and all the land around it. He keeps the water clean, his friends safe, and the Swift River Valley forever green and peaceful. Quack!
I hope that you liked hearing about the book. This is Quabbie, the Great White Duck. You can find it on Amazon. You can pick up a copy from Imminent Banter Publishing, is the publishing company. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and that you have a very sweet day.